Hello. Hello, welcome everybody. What's up? What is up? Waiting for the rain here in Budapest. Strange that my stream started without rain. Usually it rains pretty much like in line with my streams. Awesome time control. Yeah, we did this once at least. I thought about like, isn't 1510 is like a preset time control? But that's kind of weird. I don't like tinkering with the increment. I feel like I want to get used to one increment and stick with it. We're using the 5-second increments. I don't like switching it up. Oh, we got a bunch of regulars here in the chat. Yeah, it would be an eternity as well. It's already long enough. This is long. This is a long time control. 15 plus 5. These games obviously can last longer than 30 minutes apiece. So the tournament can last 5 rounds up to 3 hours. I'm gonna change something. I mistakenly made the interval between rounds 5 minutes. Is supposed to be 3. Okay. Save. Did you manage to take a look at the game I sent? You mean for this week? No. What's funny, the guy bashed out first doesn't move without dropping below his starting time, even at 70 years old. Yeah, there are old people who still play too fast. I guess they've been playing too fast their whole lives. It's probably something he's been doing for the last 50 years. Mostly we think of older players as being old and slow, but it's surprising, the ability of some people, let's say, over 60, even over 70, to play quite proficiently in very fast time controls. I've been surprised by some, older players in terms of speed and blitz and stuff like that. Is it rated? I hope not. My tournaments are never rated, sire. Better not be. Alright, 9 players. We've got Sparkle Horse, Excel Poker, Akshak, Morales, GHM, Dinekis, Speed Light Chess, AP87, Astrobait. 10 players. Oh my god, dude. I might have to ban you if you say that Vichy is old, dude. Everyone is old when you're 5 years old, man, but he's not that old. I'm not talking about people who are like 50. I'm talking about, literal senior citizens. Like people who are 60 at least, or even older than that. I've seen players online over 70, well into their 70s, playing, fast blitz and whatnot. Vichy does not count as he doesn't count as old. He's not that old. I know it's all relative, but no, we don't talk about that. That's not what I meant. All right. Andrea Prodi, this is your second account, right? No? Or no? That's your only account? Well, you've never beaten me before? To add 2 times. Great. I really wanted to relive that experience. Thanks for reminding me. I guess you're just lucky. 1 time is luck, but 2 times is not luck, but really great to be reminded of that right before we start this. I want to think of my biggest upsets and see what we can do here. XL Poker. Ooh. 2467. Akshak 2300. Shaki 22. Bison Bizon, Bill. Is a candidate master technically master? If a candidate master falls in the forest and no one is there to see him, is he technically a master? If a candidate master falls down drunk in the parking lot of the pub and no one is there to see him, is he technically drunk? Alright. Oh, what is that? What is that? What is that? Alright. Boom. What does old ever mean? It means that what does anything mean? Let's be philosophical. Or philosophic. Old is a relative term, like most things. Totally depends on where you're standing, you know? Old for a 5-year-old is not the same as old for someone who's 30, you know? So when we're talking on the chess stream about someone being old, I mean, it's like a totally different meaning for all, you know, everyone, so whatever. Thomas Treinson said, sorry guys, I think I have time. I thought I have time, but just got a phone call. It's nice of him to apologize. Dude, how many years have you been here? Alright, this is a long time control. It's 15 plus 5. I want everyone to realize that going into it, that means Dinekis, Schumacher, Sigarasmi. These are the 3 that are really bad. Speed Light Chess and AP87. You guys take your time. This is a long time control. It's like a rated rapid game speed, you know. Perfect warm-up for Sunday, see? Oh, it's like an over-the-board rapid time control, basically. Yeah, I'm sleepy too. We've got humidity here, and I think it's the atmosphere. I couldn't understand why I was so sleepy all day, but it's high pressure system in the air. You're in oh, I just read an article, right? Morales, you're in Sicily, right? So what do you think about the government's plan to resurrect this idea of having a bridge from Sicily to the mainland Italy? It's been going on for a long time. Very controversial, bad for the environment. Right. So the roads, you know, like basic stuff is in a terrible condition, and they're going to build like a fancy bridge just to give a lot of money to some freaking, you know, contract for some railroads. Yeah, I was in Italy, and the train was delayed. Right, man. Spend the money on where you really need it. I just didn't know about this project. I mean, I don't follow Italian politics, so I didn't know they were ever gonna. This was a plan before, you know, to build that would be the world's longest suspension bridge or whatever. It's not only like, you know, newsworthy. It would be like a world record. All right. Anyway, back to Chess World. Yeah, take the game seriously, guys. Don't play like it's blitz. This is a long, rapid time control. This is more than double 7 plus. You know, it's basically double 7 plus 5. So take your times. Apparently the Mafia is like opposed to the bridge project or something. Alright. Cheers, everybody. Good luck. 5 rounds, long rapid. Here's the tournament link once more. Saturday, opponent played Botvinnik as a teenager. What? What did you do? Like play Leonard Bardin or something, man? Who the hell are you playing? That's cool. Was it like an old Russian immigrant or something? Ukrainian. He beat Alienov in postal chess. Where's he from? Is he I'm assuming he's from like Ukraine or Russia. He played Botvinnik as a teenager. At first I was like, oh, who's an old English player that could have played Botvinnik that's still alive? Let's see, Leonard Bardin. Oh, it's English. Who's the other old chess master who still has like a column that I'm thinking of? You've been missing for the past 2-3 streams. What do you think of the world champion? I have nothing against Ding, you know. I just think Satowski was like, someone posted Satowski trying to defend how great the world championship match was. It's such bullshit, you know. What do you think he's gonna say? Like, oh, it was a really bad world championship. You know, these guys at FIDE, I mean, whatever. I think the format is just stupid, but I'm glad Ding won. That's great. You know, good for him. All right, we've got someone trying to join the team. Open new window. Okay, so you got 29 Blitz games. I cannot accept you. I'm sorry. Not enough games to join the team. Mr. Coffee's not here. You guys have to have 100 rated games to join the team. Not sure. Guy on board below him was talking constant crap. Yeah, people have a tendency to do that. I'm sorry I can't accept anybody with less than 100 games. We get grumpy if I don't follow my own rules here. This is gonna be bad. It's painful to get a forfeit win in the first round of 15 plus 5. That sucks. Because this is a Swiss. But, you know, seriously, think for a second, Arsenal. Leonard Bardin is like the longest running chess column, but who's the other British chess column author who's like a really old guy? Here we go with old again. That was still alive. I like how in Britain, or England, I mean, you respect these like columnists and they keep writing. No, this isn't an obsession. It was a concrete question. Arsenal brought up someone who played with Botvinnik. Now, Keane is not old enough as I'm thinking. Yeah, Keane's getting up there. I mean, Ray McKean. Who am I thinking of? Damn it. Alright, I guess Schumacher's not going to show up. See if we can follow another game here. Oh, we gotta follow. Joseph CMM has followed. So, alright. Someone has to keep an eye on this game because I don't want him to come late and then miss him. No, I mean Malcolm is another. No, he's more like a chess promoter. But okay, he's an author too. But Malcolm is like all the chess man of all trades or whatever. Yeah, that wasn't who I was thinking of. I was thinking of a really dedicated chess columnist. I don't know who he used to write for. Jesus Christ, I don't know. I'm losing my mind. Can't remember anything. He's older than Raymond Keane or Malcolm. No, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, obviously, the player you're referring to is not someone who's like, got any real name recognition. I think. Younger than Barden and older than Raymond Keane. Yeah. He's like a stalwart. Huh. No, I don't know this guy. But I'm not a connoisseur of British chess history. Who the heck am I thinking of? Damn it. Alright, how can I get away from this game and go back to the other window? Alright. The other window. Mr. Coffee here? I think you can open 2 tabs. You're right. Very deep. I just hate Google Chrome and I never use it for anything except this site. I literally only use Google Chrome for lichess, and otherwise, and so I just feel kind of weird using it. I'm not that comfortable with it. All right, let's take a look at another board here. Excel Poker. Oh, what is that? In English? Speedlight Chess, AP87. You guys think? Chess Video World. Shockey against Chess Video World. Whoa, what is that? These guys are already in an endgame. Akshak against Shigeromi. They've used 1 minute and they're already in an endgame. How does that happen, dude? Guys, it's 15 plus 5. I'm not gonna follow that game. That's an endgame with all their time left. You guys know it's 15 plus 5, right? AP87 versus Morales. AP87 is down a piece and has more time than he started with. Am I thinking of Leonard Barden? No. Thinking of someone else. Damn it. You guys don't understand. It's like you have some sort of learning disability with the clocks. Shockey using a reasonable amount of time now. 4 minutes to get to move 12. You might be thinking Barden. Oh. It's an IM or FIDE master. There's a small chance I'm thinking of someone who died recently. But I'm not talking about, Basman, obviously. Don't you hate it when you can't remember something and it drives you crazy? You can't get it out of your head to stop trying to remember what it was. It'll drive you nuts. So what was the opening here? You guys have to warn me if, who shows up. You guys need to take your time. I don't know what to do. Get everyone to take your time. Yeah, just relax. Relax. It's like when you can't get a song out of your head. Oh, it was a... What was this, actually? Oh, this is weird. Yeah, black just, like, didn't take the pawn on e5. The knight on e5, that's bizarre. Sacked a pawn. Crazy style, and now he's just, like, down a pawn. Wow, this is super weird. He gives it back. Shockey gave it back. I don't know why he needs to give it back. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, here he is. Your time has started. I have a bad record against people who give me time odds. Your time has started. Alright. I've got to prepare myself mentally. Well, were you cleaning the shower? Like Move 11 did that once, where he said he was actually cleaning the shower. Okay, let's get started. Open new window. Is there still someone trying to join our team now? Okay. Alright, so what am I gonna play? For something new. Totally different. Yeah, we'll try to stick to the Nimzo. And now, not going to play b6 like I did against Hera Imre. It's a very bad idea. Not a very reliable variation. Did the same game yesterday. You played e3 in yesterday's game, which is like a hybrid. You're playing a hybrid when you play e3. It's like a Rubinstein and the classical. This is even more random. If I played knight c6 here, we would transpose to a known variation. But other than that, I feel that c5 deserves serious consideration, because in that kind of position, white would almost never put the bishop on d2. Was it Smyslov who played a3? What are you talking about against the Nimzo? I have no idea. I wouldn't think Smyslov... I mean, Smyslov... I wouldn't think Smyslov would play... I mean, he's just... No, I don't think he would play a same-ish variation. I mean, it's possible at some point, but... I don't recall him playing the same variation. It's totally possible. He was ambidextrous. Yeah, so what am I doing here? Seek. Can't. Beep. Alright, so now it's a Panov Botvinnik system where white has played bishop d2. I could have played knight c6 there instead. It was technically not a Panov Botvinnik system. The structure is. I guess technically it could be, right? Now, for my next trick, how dangerous is this open file here? It's like a Godiva. What's it called? Godiva. What's the Godiva variation? Godiva variation. I mean, opening the e-file here is pretty tempting. It's a French exchange where I've got e-file check. But I get a completely static structure. Oh, you're threatening check? Alright. Yeah, I mean, this pawn can be sacrificed for the good of the many. Mr. Coffee! He can give his life up for the good of the many, like Mr. Spock. Bishop takes h7 check. It's a Vulcan pawn. I really don't feel like defending that pawn if I don't have to. Do I have to? Alright, I'm gonna go back. For the good of the many. Well, we're attacking d4. I strongly recommend castles queenside for white in this type of position. Mr. Coffee, glad to have you with us. Wish you could play. This is a good training time control, by the way. Has anyone else? No one else has their opponents not show up, right? The alternatives here. Bishop d7. Knight c6. Yeah, I'm going to play this straight up. He doesn't really have a good way to protect this pawn at d4. I mean, he has ways. There are ways to protect it. I'm just saying he doesn't have a good way, an ideal or optimal way to protect it. Basically, Arsenal fan, you're not supposed to mix apples and oranges. Apples go in one compartment and the oranges go in the other. And Schumacher always puts all his fruits in the same freaking basket. You know, he doesn't care. He's like a fruit seller, you know, he's just like throwing the oranges in with the apples. I mean, Macedonia, what is that about? He's a fruit masochist. You're mixing two different systems, basically. E3 and Queen C2 they're like completely different lines. Oh, that's a fruit salad? Yeah, you're either playing like Queen C2 when you don't need to in an E3. You're playing E3 when you don't need to in a Queen C2, so thank you. But he's got E3, Bishop D2, and Queen C2. I'd like a hot dog frap, please. And then fruit salad for dessert. Will you be attending the coronation, Arsenal? Oh my God. Okay. Now you're threatening me. Oh my gosh. That's a problem. Well, your daughter is going to be there? Hence why I can't play tonight. Well, it reminds me of a South Park episode. What's up? Alright. I could give up that pawn. You know, screw the pawn, right? Knight takes d4, knight takes d4, queen takes d4, bishop h7 check, king h8. Yeah, how does this work? I'm living kind of dangerously with that. I mean, do I really need to like, be fancy and sacrifice a pawn here? If I play h6, he has two options. Option 1 and option 2. Kind of makes you think he'll probably go for option number 2. What if I really gained free move? My last chance to get the pawn. There's another move. Bishop e7. Bishop e7, bishop f6, bishop f6, bishop h7 check, king h8. I don't know. I feel like I'm just choosing a move at random here. Actually, 3 options. Bill! I swear I'll pay true allegiance to your majesty. I know, like, the economic situation is extremely bleak right now, but it's not, it's not, I mean, it's more the government's fault, but it is kind of ridiculous. Like, you have this, like, billionaire king with $26 billion worth of property, and everyone else, like, is struggling. They can't even afford to buy fish and chips. It is kind of ironic, It's not like it's the king's fault. Is it too late to join the tournament? It is not. You have to be a member of our team, though. It is not. We have no join requests. The 0.01%. So now he can defend the pawn with that move, precisely. But I mean, how long will that last? Actually, rook d8 is a good move anyway. Now that I've evacuated, is that a word? The ultra wealthy. The ultra wealthy are not well enough represented. Knight takes d4, knight takes d4, rook takes d4. Bishop h7 check, king f8, rook d4, queen d4. There's stuff like rook d1. Thing earth shaking. If I don't take the pawn, what am I going to do? I got to make sure this is safe. Knight takes d4, bishop h7 check. Where do I go? h8 maybe. h8. h8's better staying on the bishop, starting to trap it. Take, 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 take. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be afraid of ghosts here. Bill! There's a move I missed. I don't know if it's significant. We shall find out. My development's a little lagging on the queen side. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it's possible to go to f8. If I go to h8, there's a better chance of getting back rank mated, which is always good. There is the possibility of knight e4, in which case I have to be a little bit careful. Let's say like king h8, knight takes, knight e4, queen e5, f4, jeez, queen d5, it's awkward. Rook takes, queen b6. I mean, wow, there's a weird line. King h8, rook takes rook, queen takes rook, rook d1. Oh, now I have to choose carefully. Queen f6 is probably best, because queen b6 allows knight a4. Alright, I think I'm okay with this. Bill, thanks for subscribing. Arsenal for Prime Minister. Do you know what I found out today? What's really interesting and probably no one cares about? Arsenal, have you ever heard of the Federalist Society? It's like a conservative organization in the United States, mostly for lawyers who are conservatives, and they want to counter the influence of the liberals. It was started in like 1982. They influence things like Supreme Court appointments and stuff. Anyone could be a member, but it's like, you know, it was created by, it's very influential with Republicans and conservatives. And I found something interesting today. This organization, an international chess master, is the president of the Federalist Society, which is really crazy. I never played him, but he's like a long-time DC lawyer, Eugene Meyer, and it's a very impressive resume. I mean, for a chess player to become that was surprising. Okay, what am I doing? Queen e5. I could just simply play queen d8 though. Why not queen d8? What's the difference? Nothing. Oh, I had a hallucination. Hey, that's a nice hallucination you had there, Sladgie. No, that was different. That was a different variation. Not a mere hallucination. But I was thinking how crazy it is, you know. I'm looking at the news. I'm reading about the Federalist Society, this major organization, and Eugene Meyer is the president. I'm like, Eugene Meyer, like the Eugene Meyer, like the international master from Washington, D.C. Chess players are everywhere. He's a long time DC chess player. He was actually president of the U.S. Chess Center in Washington, D.C. for a while. Conservative chess players. I think his family is like really, really old school. Like Washington conservatives from way back. Chess players. Famous chess players you didn't know about. He seemed like a really normal guy. I mean, to be honest. But they're not all evil, you know. It's just legitimate conservatives aren't evil. It's these people that are embracing the extremists that bothers me. And either side is bad, but let's get our politics on. Alright. But it's fun to learn something interesting about. I had to have like AI research it for me. My first use of Bing chatbot or whatever. I was like, man, it looks like Eugene Meyer. He's like older now. I never played him, but we played like adjacent to each other numerous times. He played in many tournaments like the World Open, and it's not easy to become an international master. I said, is the president of the Federalist Society a an accomplished chess player. And the AI bot was like, Eugene Meyer is president of the Federalist Society. He is an international master. That is an accomplished. And then its final sentence was like, that makes him an accomplished chess player. So now I'm an accomplished chess player, I found out. Isn't that interesting? Hey, how about trapping the bishop with g6? Be careful, I've got back rank problems. I kind of want to play bishop e7, but I know he's going to gang up on me. Don't gang up on me. These guys like try to influence like Supreme Court picks. This organization. I mean, it's the reason why they advise like President Trump about who to appoint to the Supreme Court and shit. Whoa, you just dropped a piece? Oh no. Because like obviously President Trump would have known, you know, a lot about Supreme Court justice picks. Harlan Crow. Did you hear what I said? Move 11. The president of the Federalist Society is Eugene Meyer, who's a longtime international master from Washington, D.C. I just learned this today. Very, very funny, the things you don't know, you know. Washington Insider. Please don't checkmate me. Do you mind if I develop my bishop at some point? Would you mind terribly if I actually developed my other bishop? Move 11, what are you doing here? Two for one. It's not really a 2-for-1. I just get my choice. Buy one, get one free. I like this time control. I can banter about politics. Oof. Mr. Coffee's like, oof. Alright. I can banter about politics and not get in crushing time pressure. Dinekis wins against Excel Poker. Wow, major upset. Not completely surprising. Dinekis can be dangerous. +4 position, I throw in time trouble. Damn. He plays like crazy fast. He did that against me the other day. He plays like ridiculous, you know, using like 1 minute for the whole game. It can be disconcerting. Although, you know, Excel Poker's gonna win 9 times out of 10. Akshak won. That was a crazy game against LVN yesterday. But my A3 game where I played D6. Oh, where he just like tricked me with the one move trick. Shaki getting the win. Hey, it's Miros here. Good to see you. Another 2200. Man, we haven't seen too many Hates Mirror Bononis. Bisonov getting the win against an anonymous player. Morales getting a win. Good, we got quite a few players for the long time control. Husky entered late with a half-point buy. Resident Spectator late with a half-point buy. And Arsenal losing. AP87 losing against Morales. Arsenal losing against GHM. Alright, everybody, welcome to the tournament. You ruin. Guys, don't forget to donate your life savings. can always get another life. Get a life. All right. I think what? Sllllooowwwww plays what? Can you accept your request? As long as you got 100 games, bro. Alright. Obese Reese. The King's Indian attack symmetrical. Yeah, well, if you play the King's Indian for either side, I guess you're going to be playing the symmetrical King's Indian from time to time. I've talked about that in analyzing Petrosian games. The only player I really found who seemed to enjoy... Refresh your page. Alright. 8, 7. Thank you. We're going to play Morales. Fate. The Fates have spoken. No. It's Bisonov. Alright, I thought I would get you Morales after that. That would be ironic. Refresh your page. Hey, let's get some gift subs. Cheer down to be number 1. Uber driver recommended. Oh no, I ran out of time. There's many reasons you should be ashamed of yourself, Arsenal fan, I would think, but that's not one of them. Me too. I think Peter Clark, or what is the British master Clark? What's his first name? Clark wrote a book on Petrosian that has a good collection. Rather than like, I have like the really expensive like hardcover. They were like $100 for these like 2 beautiful hardcovers. But Petrosian has like 1 million games, so you'd be there like all day. There's a good collection by Clark, like Petrosian. I can't remember what it's called, but it just has like a fairly good selection, rather than like his entire life's games, which would take you forever. And it's kind of boring because honestly, he did have a lot of draws. To go over all of his games, Python strategy. That sounds like a coding. I think that's a coding book, like Python for Dummies. They had a series, like Batsford. Batsford published a series of game collections of classic players, and they all had like a different title. Master of this, Master of Drinking, Arsenal fan. I don't have a good Korchnoi book, actually. I have a really, like, crappy one that has no text. It's actually chock full of games, just no serious annotations. So knight f6 here, right? We're supposed to play this variation. If there's no text, there's nothing to disagree with, or alternative facts. Nothing to frustrate you. Nothing to argue about. You have a question, Nakaro. Oh, that's the Hayes Miro variation. I would tell you, but he'd have to kill me if I told you. What was the secret move? We found an interesting line there. Black can actually do something weird like bishop f5, but I don't know. Objectively, it's very difficult to say like what the best move is in Slow Poker. That's a Bobby Fischer mineral bath variation. that my friend Emil Slancy. I don't think Emil was actually there at Sečení Ferdo with Fischer, but it was claimed that he was raving about that variation while he was still living in Budapest. Before it was trendy, we call it the mineral bath. Oh shit! Dropped my queen again. I hate when that happens. I had this game with Alex Kristolovich, which I messed up, and I was lucky not to lose last year. Oh, we played this before? I forgot. I always do that. I know that both these moves are playable here. So, okay, we had a good game in this. I screwed up against Kristolovich. There's some reason why I can't take on c6, but I don't remember what it is. I guess just bishop b7. Knight c6, bishop b7? Does that make sense? No, yeah, knight c6, bishop b7, bishop b5, a6, bishop a4, bishop d7. Something to that effect. So I believe... Wait, I believe... I have a question. I can play a4. Let's try a4. Is a4 a good idea? Doesn't he have, like... Wait, doesn't he have... Wait, doesn't he have, like, knight to d5 or something? Maybe it doesn't matter, you know, screw that. Not the end of the world. Arsenal, watch the VOD. Yeah, I have knight c6, but it doesn't work. I played this with black in blitz games too. I don't know it too deeply. I messed it up with white the one time I played it. I believe I played castles or b3 instead of a4. Okay, so what's the point? If b4, knight c6, yeah, if b4, knight c6, bishop b7, yeah, I mean, I'm just like losing the g2 pawn, I guess. Although, you know, it could be kind of weird. You could get a variation on a crazy line like b4, knight c6, bishop b7, knight d4, bishop takes g2, rook g1, and I mean I have moves like bishop b5 check, knight b5, yeah, that kind of thing. Is Harlan Crow with us today? Or Leonard Leo? Why do I have no Republican like mega donors watching my streams? I really don't understand it. Or Herman Cain. Oh yeah, I miss Cain. Wait, Herman Cain? Is he still alive? Wait, didn't Herman Cain die? Am I just making that up? Is that like wishful thinking? Right. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sure he would still be in the news if he was still alive. What the heck is Bisonov doing here? He died of Hurricane Horatio. Oh, he refused to like get vaccinated for COVID and died of it or something. I prefer Michael Caine. Any day. Or even the Caine Mutiny, for that matter. Wow, this is a disaster for Bisonov. He just did not come prepared. It's like my son. He doesn't do his homework properly. You're gonna get another C in class. Well, that sounds like Sllaggie's system. Sllaggie likes chaos. XL Poker does pretty well with chaos. Who else? Who else? Hey, it's Miro. Pretty down with the chaos. Yeah, Bill subscribed earlier. Thanks for that, Bill. Cheese Police. The Cheese Police. I won't vote for you. I'm just scrolling through the old chat. Why won't my scroll go down to the bottom? Mr. Coffee is a Redditor when he's not modding on my channel. He's a Reddit mod. Christ, dude. It's not Bisonov's day. He's the only person who's subscribed today. And I'm just like stealing his queen. Alright, what happened here? You got plenty of time to figure out the opening if you don't know the theory. You know, the problem is like most people, they're not used to this time control and they can't adapt. It seems to be a little bit of a sideline here with Queen F4. Sidelines are good. Do you find many differences between the Hungarian school system and the US? Well, you know, the main difference is that, like, you know, they don't stock up on body bags here. So when you send your kids to school, like, you're pretty much counting on them coming home without, you know, being gunned down every day. That's the main the main difference between Hungarian schools and American schools. I mean, you have a better budget for things there, but you know, it's kind of outweighed by people getting gunned down. Okay, Bishop D3, Queen C7 was correct, and then Bill like left the building. So A4 is main line. Yeah, I believe I played B3 in the other game. Cinderella of Pascal Kristolovich. It's already in the database, see? We have to, yeah. Wait, what? So you screwed up here. I played A4 And he messed up with bishop b7. Damn. So you have to play b4 or bishop d6. b4 is okay. If knight takes c6, this is interesting. Thomas Bjørnsen. Apparently black has good compensation there. But white might have better than knight takes c6. Yeah, there's a problem. b3. So b4 is a mistake. You're supposed to play bishop d6. Now if knight takes c6, b4. Oh, this is what Arsenal was talking about. a6. But it's actually knight f5. This line looks pretty good, though, for white. To be honest with you, Bill, I feel like, you know, you're better off playing queen d5. I don't know. It's a little safer, although not a walk in the park either. Maybe not. But maybe like a best of all is just not doing this, you know. Just don't give up the center. I still think like bishop g4 is good, and I also think the knight f6 is good. You don't have to play pawn takes pawn. I mean, you are giving up your center. Wow, perfect game by Sllagi with merciless accuracy. All right, let's get back and see what's happening. There's also a good thing about this time control that I can finish my games in 5 seconds and then analyze the other games from the tournament, which is kind of fun. Miralles. Ooh. Miralles with control of e5. With the black pieces, no less. Oh no, Akshak played the castle king side. Castle king side is not really dangerous for black. Actually, you have to do the castle queen side. Alright, well you should. Dinekis against Shaki. Another upset in the making. Interesting. Black has very solid dark square pawns, but he has a pawn deficiency. Get it? Do you get it? You have a pawn deficiency. You have a pawn deficiency. You have less pawns. Mr. Coffee, did you know that black and white cats are more likely to be like kleptomaniacs than other colored cats? Isn't that weird? You think it's like a racist study? They steal shit all the time. No, like I was collecting evidence to support this theory. I found like 4 articles about cats that steal shit, and they're always like the black and white ones. It's very strange. There was like one other like calico one that was klepto. No, I know like crows and stuff are really big on stealing stuff. They're into hoarding it. But cats apparently like they take things as presents for their owners. Whereas like birds just steal shit to like put it in their nest because they like it because it's shiny. Cats are like giving presents to their owners. That's the theory anyway. But why is it just the black and white ones? These and other important questions will be answered here tonight on our stream. By the way, I'm like sweating. I need like boob deodorant. Do you understand why I'm bringing this up? It's May the 2nd. It is May the 2nd, and I'm like sweating. My boobs are sweating. Dude, it's global warming already? There's a study that argued crows are as smart as 7-year-old humans. Do you have black and white cat, Mr. Coffee? We once had a black and white cat. Mostly Siamese. Tuxedo. I didn't know they were called. I didn't know that was called tuxedo. That's funny. I guess black and white cats see the world in black and white terms. Maybe that makes them more materialistic. Oh, man. Firm the Goat says, hey man, I got a question for you. I turned 14 in March. I've been playing for 2 years. Chess.com, the evil chess site. And I'm not really sure what the next logical step is. I don't have a coach, so I'm just trying to understand the fundamental plans for to keep improving. Yeah, I mean, we don't say the evil chess site, but it's alright. I'll let it go. Well, you're asking like very general question. I think you need, your best next logical step is to play over the board. Honestly, if you're not already. I started playing chess when I was like 11, and I played in my first tournament when I was 12. And I was a late starter, but I didn't have online chess, so you have a big advantage over that. It's still not too late, but I think you should start, first of all. If you have access to possibly playing, like, tournament chess beyond online, that's probably a really important step. If you don't, okay, you don't. Then it's not an option. Yeah, you need to start studying the game beyond just playing. Oh, I mean, in Ireland, well, it's not like the United States. They do have some tournaments, obviously. Yeah. But not, right. Now, we had another guy come to the stream from Ireland. A kid, teenager, whatever. I mean, there are some tournaments, but obviously not as much as some places. But it's not like you're in Alaska, I mean, it could be worse. Hey, it's Miros from Alaska. It may not be that convenient, but you might be able to find a tournament here and there. So you actually have a national rating, okay. Well, what just happened here? Dunekis used his time and then dropped a piece. Is this calculated? I think studying. Playing online blitz bullet chess is overrated. Take the game more seriously. I mean, you don't have to buy physical books. I mean, obviously, some people would prefer to study, like, paper physical books or ebooks or something. If you can't play in tournaments, I think studying, get some ebooks and study the game more seriously. You don't necessarily have to take lessons. I think later that would be a step. You're still kind of... I would say first, yeah, I never played scholastic tournaments, interestingly, as it, like, once. I played in, like, one scholastic tournament. I always played in adult tournaments. I don't think there's any difference, really. You might as well just play in adult tournaments. Don't be like, oh, I'll only play in kids tournaments or something. It doesn't matter, Adults hate playing kids anyway, and we all get pissed off. We're more likely to lose. So, wow. Black could have won a piece there, and he didn't do it with knight d4 check. King f4, knight b3. This is like my game the other day. It's like my endgame with Hey It's Miro from the Simul. Knight d4 check, king f4, knight b3, g5. I think your king is kind of in the zone. It would have been close, but I don't think Sllllooowwwww is in danger of losing there. But he decides to play it safe with king e5. I don't know. I mean, you got 7 minutes. I would calculate that till yellow dragoon. Yeah. Yeah. No, Harry Lee, right? I mean, he's a good player. He's like an FM now. Yeah. No, but we had another lower rated player who was from Ireland coming to the stream a lot. All right. Yeah, you're 2,600, 2,700 pubbles. That's strong. But if your puzzles are really, really high and your rating isn't that high, you probably need to improve. You know where you need to improve. You need to learn chess strategy. I think a lot of people without guidance don't learn the strategic side of the game, and they just focus on tactics. You're ahead of the curve in tactics, obviously, then, and you need to improve the strategic side of your game. But I would recommend studying actual, books on chess strategy. All right, what are we gonna do? We're gonna watch this. I can't watch this. 7 ongoing games. What about Hey, it's Miro? Ooh, I think my website just crashed. Oh shit. God, I hate Google. Not only do they give me stock quotes I don't want, but now it's just like frozen on me. Can I reload? Doesn't work. When I try to reload the page, it won't reload. Well, that's good. Oh, it just won't even do anything now. I have to, alright, refresh it. Freaking Microsoft. What is it? Control-Alt-Delete? Chrome is a disaster. We will be right back. Restore pages. Yeah. Can I restore pages? That only restored one page. What about my others? Dudes. Seriously, I mean, if you have a very high puzzle rating, you need to work on strategy. People are like, what's the difference between strategy and tactics? Okay. Control Shift Escape. Computer nerd. Alright. I'm old school, man. I learned Control Alt Delete like 30 years ago, and I can't learn, a new way to do it. Sllllooowwww versus lichess. Ooh. I can't believe he could have won a piece and he didn't really take the time to calculate it. Wow. Alright, we didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry, guys. Is my stream showing the board? Alright, good. Sllllooowwww, yeah, this is... We're going to go back to a different game because this is kind of slow. Morales against Akshak was totally crushing. But Morales has a tendency to get in trouble on the clock. Here he's got a very good position. Husky's in the tournament with a win against Resident Spectator. With black. What else? Jeroen, the obese Reese. Obese Reese is 2,100. XL Poker making a comeback. XL Poker, I'll tell you one thing about 5-round tournaments. If you lose one game, you got to win the other 4. I've seen, there are rare examples. There are very rare examples in 5-round tournaments of 3.5 points, like winning the tournament. it's almost always a tie. It practically has to be a tie. Basically, Sllllooowwww has to win all of his games. Alright. After the first round upset in a 5-round tournament is a major problem. There's no way you can do like Swiss Gambits in 5-rounders. 6 rounds maybe. More than that, definitely. But 5-rounders, you cannot afford more than a draw. Or if you do, you know, you gotta go 4-0. I did that probably many times. I'm sure I had a lot of examples of 5-round tournaments where I lost the first round, and club tournaments where I did that. Morales winning. I don't think Sllaggie's gonna win. I mean, the outside pawn is too much of a problem for Dinekis. I mean, Dinekis is his pawn. Uh-oh. Wait, this wasn't a stonewall attack. Euron must have not played the stonewall. Whatever he did, though, it must have been very frustrating for black. Judging by that pawn structure, it was a bishop e5. Some kind of bishop e5, you know, Nimzo Dutch. Bishop takes c6. That's a game, yeah, that's a fun game. Like, guess the opening. That's something we can make an app for that. Although I don't think there'd be enough market for it to stand alone. Maybe a funny sort of game for the stream. Guess the opening. You get points based on if you can guess the opening in like middle game positions. I guess this was a bishop e5, like reverse Nimzo. Possibly a Rossalimo. But I mean, given Euron's predilection to play the birds opening, it's highly likely it was f4, d5, followed by e3, c5, maybe b3, knight c6, bishop b5. Let us check. f4, d5, but not e3. He played knight f3, so I wasn't 100% right. Basically, I was right. e3 instead of b3. Yeah, good call, Sladgie. This was a Nimzo reversed. And now, White's pawns are all, this is really important, White's pawns are on good color, the correct color. So even though Black's pawn up, I think it's hard for Black to make good on it, on this extra pawn. Probably Black's best chance would be if he could somehow miraculously trade dark square bishops. The c5 square means getting a knight to c5 in some positions, which would be problematic. I think he's thinking about a4. This is a kind of risky move, but it might be good. It's an outside pawn. Now he has like potentially like, you know, outside pawns on both flanks. But at the same time, like, what can Black's pieces do, you know? These pieces are very restricted for Black. First of all, we can immobilize the pawn with bishop c1. This knight can come back here. I mean, I think that Euron has chances to save the game. But generally speaking, bishop a3 is a good blockader, at least temporarily. Well, it's not the best. The knight would be the best blockader, but we'll take it, what we can get. It was a risky move to play a4, you know. I guess not that risky objectively, but riskier than taking. Where is he going with knight b6? Man, that's kind of a nasty move. in a sense. Black is an interesting move here. G6. G6, like trying to sacrifice the H pawn, not letting you ruin into F5. Whole hog style. This was a nice move. Bishop E7, stopping knight D6. He's willing to give up his bishop. Narf. Bishop A3. The knight in F5 is a nice piece, but it's kind of a decoration. Because it's freezing the black king side. So much for playing G6. I don't know if objectively if Jeroen should have done this. Interesting. I don't know about taking that bishop on E7 with the knight, man. That's pretty committal. I don't think that was a good idea. The bishop's not too good. I don't think he should have given up his F5 knight for the bishop on E7. It doesn't seem like White has to do that. But I'm not convinced. I think like White is probably still losing or close to losing here. Although I don't know. Now he's going on a really crazy tangent. Is that good? Is King G5 really a good idea? Oh man, this is insane. Wow. Yeah, that, you know, sometimes bad things happen to good people. Alright. Not exactly a well-deserved victory there, but we'll take it. Right? Morales still. Oh man, Akshak is the blitz player. Morales has 2 queens. 2 queens is better than 1. The bishop on B2, man. Morales, be careful now. Don't drop a queen. You better be careful. I love same color queen endings. Where both my queens are on the same color. Dinek is still playing against Shaki. Uh-oh. Another knight versus bishop ending. Whoa. What happened here? We were looking at it from black side before. Man, this got crazy. I was afraid this was going to happen. The next outside pawn is just a killer. Well, if that's a good move. Wow. Wow. Maybe we want to do something here. Quickly. Nice move, King E5. Very nice. Still he's in trouble. Wow, that's a nice move too. He waited till the pawn advanced, giving me a chance to queen. What if Dinekis makes a knight, man? Shaki lost on time. Damn. Yeah, he's lost. That's crazy. I don't know, man. If you go back in this game to the point where he could have won a piece, Black could have won a piece, right? It was unclear. Holy shit. Holy shit. So this was the key moment. Like, we were all thinking about, well, what happens if Sllllooowwww takes the bishop, knight d4 check, king f4, knight takes b3, and all hell breaks loose. But I thought this king was kind of getting back in time. The engine's calling it a draw. But, I mean, we need to go to deep depth 34, draw. So he had a draw, but he was unsure. Okay, that was a long round. Wow. 2 rounds to go. Sorry, 3 rounds to go even. I mean, I think what happened was, like, Sllllooowwww didn't know. He didn't know. He was like, screw it, I'm not going to do it because I'm not sure. But, I mean, they're already in an endgame, and he has 7 minutes with a 5-second increment. I still think you could, if you could figure it out, you know, it's probably worth letting your time run down. If that's going to be, you know, the critical moment in the game, then it's not enough to be like, whatever, I'm not going to analyze it, you know, all the way out. I'm not sure. I'm just not going to do it. You can use another 3 or 4 minutes there. And if it's sudden death, it's a different story. But I think there Sllllooowwww gets into a tactical endgame where, you know, he'll have 3 or 4 minutes left, but he'll be able to hopefully, you know, defend in a situation where, like, forced moves are enough to hang on. You know, he can probably get it within. I mean, obviously going into the game, he's a favorite. He probably wanted to beat Dinekis because he's 200 points higher, but you have to be realistic and rational. You don't have to. A lot of people aren't. I'm not sometimes, but anyway. Dinekis Morales, friend of mine, had lessons with the Gormally. You're spending too long on moves, you know, to play anyway, and you only really need to use your time for 2 or 3 critical moments. Well, you know, Danny has a lot of practical experience. So he's probably a decent coach, I would say. Good practical player. A4. Rather, E4. E4. That's E4. I thought it was A4. What am I talking about? The Morales. No more Philidors. 8. 7. I don't think, like, E5 is my best move for playing for a win, objectively, but Morales is so good at his anti-Sicilian systems. I feel like that's my best bet. I'm not going to give you that line again, and he's probably done his homework. We need something different here. Wait, did I play C6 last time? Yeah, I mean, Arsenal, I think I'm not as practical as I should be. Knight takes E4 here. Knight takes E4 D5. What happens there? Knight E4. Knight E4 D5. I feel like I'm falling into some kind of trap. There must be bishop f7. Knight e4, bishop f7, king f7, queen h5 check. What's going on there? g6, queen e5. I don't remember. Did I look at this? Am I supposed to play d5 or something? I'm not sure. Maybe c6 is just bad. But anyway, I wanted to show something different. Okay, d5, E takes D. We could play pawn takes pawn. Bishop E5 check. Basically, I'm playing like the Ponziani in reverse or something. Are you telling me the Ponziani in reverse isn't a good opening? Are you serious? How is it possible? The reverse Ponziani is not good. I mean, if we are playing reverse Ponziani, I could play Queen A5, I guess. The other move is Bishop E4. Queen A5, very principled. If you're finishing off your OTB matches with an hour on the clock, I guess you're not playing strong enough opposition. Just a thought, but pawn takes D5. I want to play a pawn sack here. Pawn takes, queen takes, D5, pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn. Knight takes D5. Then I'm screwed. Knight C6, knight takes F6 check. There's no time. Queen A5. Yeah, I guess C6 is just bad. But we'll bamboozle him somehow then. Bamboozle. Knight takes E4. Check it one last time. D5. Knight takes E4, bishop F7, king F7, queen H5, check, G6, queen E5. Does look like I have a lot of weaknesses there. What am I getting? A bishop? Sacking a pawn, my king's open, I don't like it. D5. Pawn takes pawn. You could play it like an elephant gambit, basically, after D5. Alright, I'm going to play the elephant gambit. I don't know, it's some kind of elephant gambit. Screw it. Screw it. We'll just bamboozle him. I mean, bean boozle. Obviously, white can play pawn takes E5, but I'm okay with that. That's imbalanced. It's hard playing black against decent players, I feel. Like, that's how I felt after losing to 4 GMs in a row with black. But I was playing recklessly, you know, I was playing like kind of dubious stuff, to be honest. I was, and I did alright, you know. I was in the games, but I was playing 3 out of 4 games I was playing risky stuff. But I don't like playing passively, you know, ever. Doesn't matter if it's a strong player or a weak player. I just don't like playing black passively. I never liked playing the black side of the Queen's Gambit, declined Orthodox or the French. Even the Caro-Kann I have like a horrible score with. So far the Petrov's been alright. It's not really that passive, it's just kind of correct. Yeah, but I mean, if you can play all your tournament games, you have an hour left over compared to your opponent or something. I mean, you're just not being tested. I mean, I would say. For me, it doesn't really matter what color I am. It doesn't seem to matter. I don't think my difference in white and black is very high compared to most people. And that's probably because my black openings are better prepared than my white openings. So at the end of the day, it kind of balances out. Do we have another request to join the team? Finally? Hello? Schuckmeister. Schaestermeister. Alexa, can you find a reference to a chess account called Schaestermeister? We need Alexa. Does Alexa have AI yet? I had an old ICC account called Schaestermeister. I had totally forgotten about it until like a few months ago. It was only for like a year or two. Long time ago. Title is honor for the chess crown. Okay, so what are we doing here? Pawn takes pawn, developing his pieces. The elephant gambit. El gambito de Aníbal. Pawn takes pawn. What's wrong with pawn takes pawn? Bishop b5 check. Right. And then bishop d7. And then pawn takes e5. And then I'm screwed, right? That's where you get pretty screwed. Bishop takes b5. I don't trust this. Hikaru was Year of the Rabbit and Smallville. Before Smallville, he was Year of the Rabbit. It is the Year of the Rabbit now, right? Isn't this the Year of the Rabbit again? Well, what a small world. Alright. No, seriously. What am I doing here? Losing my mind. We're gonna have to go fully, not somewhat, but fully unsound. Gambit style against Morales. Are you sure you want to do that? And I messed up. I played c6. I guess it's just not a good variation. I looked at this once. I'm playing the Ponziani where the opponent has an extra move, which is bishop c4, or it would be bishop c5 in the Ponziani. Hey, I came by accident, but I'm watching now. I guess it's useful if you play chess, for example. You could just hang out for our political commentary. Alright, what the hell? Can you... Windows... See, I hate Google. Like, what is the Google Chrome doing? It has all these, like, annoying features that I can't control. Okay. Pawn takes pawn, bishop e5 check. So we're doing this. This was the big plan. That's your big plan, bro? So I'm saying my big plan is to hover my mouse over the resign button and be down a pawn for nothing. Pretty impressive big plan. Easter full moon featured a rabbit The Were-Rabbit. That's one of my favorites. That's Wallace and Gromit. The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. That's great. I wish they would make more Wallace and Gromits. It just takes so much to make stop motion. You know, stop motion requires so much effort to make one of those films. It's just ridiculous. I guess it's just not worth it, you know, for the amount of money that they make. Just to make some crappy animation instead. The amount of work that goes into claymation is just outrageous. But I do wish there were more. Alexa, do you have artificial intelligence? Alexa, do you have feelings? Alexa, do you love me? Alexa, are you attached to your master? Oh, sorry. No, I don't have an Alexa here. I just like triggering other people's Alexas. Alexa, order Kentucky Fried Chicken. Wow, that's a safe move, isn't it? Bishop d2. Morales and the e5 square. Holy simoleons. That's an interesting philosophical viewpoint. Is it luckier to not be alive? So what happens on knight c3? Just whatever. This has got to be a bad move. I looked at every possibility, but at the end of the day, I didn't really want to give up my bishop for the knight on c3, and this at least like doubles white's pawns. It does some strategic, you know, structural damage. How bad is black's position, really? I mean, we're down a pawn, but the e5 pawn is a bit extended, and white will have structural issues. Morales' favorite square, we know. We've played 459. This is game 460. Structural shoes. So, speaking of something that you remind me of now, I found myself using the term artificial, and it's interesting. I brought up this this commonly used chess term, which I use sometimes blindly myself. Artificial, calling moves artificial. And then move 11 was like, well, what do you mean when you say an artificial move? And then I was like, oh shit, you know what? I never knew what I meant. I mean, artificial, artifice, the outside of the building. It's basically the same thing as superficial, right? I mean, What's the difference between artificial and superficial, really? Superficial means on the surface. Artificial, an artifice, isn't it basically the same thing? Yeah, we asked the Greek people. It's their fault. Unnatural, yeah. I mean, but aren't they all like synonyms? Aren't they basically all the same thing? Artificial, superficial, unnatural. I mean, aren't we just using synonyms that all mean the same thing, essentially? We're arguing over semantics. Basically, the meaning is the same with all these words. Alright, I'm gonna go with a suggestion. Queen A5. I was actually very strongly tempted to play Queen G5, but Knight F3 it looks like a really good pawn sacrifice for the initiative. I thought here the difference is that, at first I thought, okay, this is just, useful, but honestly his queen is kind of a target on D4. I mean, is that really great? I mean, you're just going to get hit by a piece somewhere. This is a useful move, though. So maybe it's not so simple at the end of the day. Rook E8, weakening my structure. Oh, I have Knight D7. Knight D7 looks interesting. Oh, yeah. Oh no, Morales. Oh no. Don't hurt me. I'm a Greek people magnet. Well, my name is Pascal, which is like Latin for Easter, so they're all gravitating to me. And I like Greek food, so why not? Really sad. Do you want to know something really sad? There's only like one really kind of legit Greek restaurant in Budapest, and it's on the other side of the river. My position looks lost. Dude. Yeah, XL Poker is like, he's worse than Arsenal fan. XL Poker, you're all kinds of like judgmental, snap judgments. Guillermo. He's all about the snap judgments. But XL Poker does, he does take his time from time to time. I think he's too snap judgmental. Is that a word? Snap judgmental? Ooh, I hung a piece. You resign now. I don't resign. I refuse. I'm refusing to resign. Not that easy to make me resign. Morales is like chickening out into the ending. But I think we gotta keep an open mind. Even here, Queen E5, Bishop C8, Rook E1. That's crazy. I could play Queen E5, and on Bishop C8 just recapture. That would be freaking nuts to do that. Queen E5, Bishop C8, recapture. I mean, this is just insane. I don't think that's legitimate possibility. But I don't know, man. I don't think that black is. I don't think black is that bad. I think objectively, I need to hold a draw here, and then, you know, stay in the tournament effectively. From the tournament standpoint. Now, obviously, you're fine. See, another snap judgment. Like, why am I obviously fine here? I don't necessarily agree with that. See, that's the problem with XL Poker. He has Arsenal fans' former disease, being too sure about everything. Sort of, it's not about snap judgments. It's more like you know, you're like too conclusive about everything. Just say you're not really sure. It's okay. We're not supposed to be sure of everything. I'm not sure I'm okay here. I'm down a pawn in an ending, and honestly, like, I wouldn't want to play like a computer in this position. But maybe you mean from the practical standpoint compared to how I was. Because it's like Morales, and he's not a grandmaster, and he's not a computer, and objectively. But I don't think that black is fully equal still. I'll just basically argue with whatever. Whatever XL Poker says, I'll say the opposite. Just for the sake of arguing. Arsenal used to do that. He was always like so, you know. And then he's gotten better about it. I think he's learned from my constructive criticism. What do we got here? Anything? Hey, would you like to have a little walk? Would you like to take a walk with me? Defibrillator. Do you need a defibrillator? I wouldn't like play against any kind of chess. Well, I mean, there's lots of reasons. I mean, this pawn is weak, this pawn is weak, his knight is loose. I'm not really sure. I'm just down a pawn and ending, and I'm going to take a draw if I can. It's lucky that I have enough activity to probably justify him giving me a draw here. But objectively, I was lucky. I can't offer a draw because it's not move 25. It's like, I could play on irrationally, you know, like, oh, I gotta beat him. But why? It's a 5-round tournament. 4.5 will win, maybe 4 will tie. I try to take stuff, you know, I try to treat the tournaments in competitive terms. You know, it's not important, but I'm pretending it's like the World Championship. I take my opponent seriously, and I take every tournament seriously. I'm still not allowed to offer draw. Threefold draw. It won't let me draw. It's threefold repetition, dude. Is this making fun of me? Is it making fun of us? You can't claim a draw even if it's threefold repetition. Is that a real feature? That's gotta be a joke, dude. But I mean, you know, Turzo in the last round of the Hungarian Team Championship, was it Turzo? Somebody on my team made a draw, and they made a draw. It wasn't Turzo, it was someone else. They made a draw like in under 30 moves, and they told the arbiter like, oh, threefold, blah blah blah, threefold. So it's sort of stupid though, like, you know. Yeah, why isn't it draw? Because of the gay 30 move rule. It's just absurd. Why does lichess have this 30 move rule? And who created that bullshit anyway? I want to like kill Topalov and Kramnik and the organizers of. By the way, that's how that shit started. You know. It was like the Topolov Kramnik, or no, there was some around that time. It was some tournament in Sofia, right? Topolov was definitely involved. It's the stupidest rule ever. Anyone that wants to circumvent is going to circumvent it. So you're not doing anything. Any grandmaster can make a move, can make a draw in like 30 moves with another grandmaster, like without even like, you know, having their eyes open. It's really dumb, I think. Wow. So just my like c6 variation is dubious. Damn. Has this been played by anyone good? Well, there's the guy who like bought all of his rating points and had a New York Times article about him. That's good. Rodrigo Vasquez beat a 2200. Roman Slobodan drew. Campos Moreno played it once and lost. My old friend from Poker Sittin' goes. Pablo, the online chess cheater Zarnicki, played it and lost. Safroni lost. Eggestein played it once, and Averick lost. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty surprising that Eggestein would play it and Averick would play it. Even more surprising is probably Averick, who's like an opening. I mean, I don't think like Eggestein as much as Averick is like an opening specialist. Averick is an author of chess books and shit, you know. But the problem is d4. When we are effectively playing the Ponziani in reverse. Wow. No one ever played my move. So people have actually played the reverse Ponziani. Obviously Bishop e4, another reverse Ponziani variation. And then of course the cave the center variation. This looks best according to the engine though. Pawn takes pawn. Queen takes, but what do? You know, you want to play d5, but it just loses. So someone actually played b5. That has the feeling of... I have the feeling this is kind of dubious for black. Yeah, and actually reminds you of the Urasov, and Morales plays Urasov. What did Zarnicki play for the draw? No, this is some other game. I thought about this. It's like a c3 Sicilian in reverse. Oh, it is a c3 Sicilian style move. Butkevich. What's that? So bishop e7 is actually the best move. Oh no, so there's some kind of answer to e5 here. Oh shit. Nobody found this. How does that work? Whoa. Pawn takes here. Bishop f6. Oh my god. So this variation has never been found. This is the problem. Queen e3 check, bishop e6, and you're threatening d4. And you get your piece back. No, it's like you get your piece back with the pawn fork and black is okay. So that like keeps black alive, apparently, after bishop e7. And it just developed. Black could castle. It's not good, but it's like a bad... You're gonna get a bad Philidor. It's interesting, though. No one found it previously. Umut Atakisi. Turkish elections coming up. That should be interesting for the whole world. We'll see how populism is headed. Yeah, but anyway, Morales, just one last thing. My d5, does it transpose to something else? Like, I had the feeling it might transpose to something like an elephant. E takes d5. Yeah, what is my best move here? Bishop d6 is very elephant-like. So I played bishop e4. Computer actually likes this better. What's up? Let's let it run a little deeper. Maybe it likes bishop e4 if you let it run. Dude, I thought forever on this move. And the sort of valuation looks like 1.1. Why is my computer not finding bishop b4? Seriously. Why is the evaluation 1.1? Is like somebody's phone analyzed this or something? It's like calculating moves. Wow, that's weird. Just seems to be like a stored evaluation. You should have taken back the pawn. Anyway, okay, you're just better. You're better, but you're never quite winning. It's interesting. Final position. Oh, wow. King b1. I was looking at, like, rook a4. Yeah, hitting your b pawn. That's funny. And you have this, and it holds. Yeah, you need time here to play this, like, perfectly. The Morales chickened out and took the draw. Alright, back to the tournament. Not a good opening experiment. One game ongoing. Asterbate, how much time have you been spending on your games? Asterbate got a win. Oh no, Speedlight Chess forfeited. Bisonov, go! Go Bisonov! Damn it. Poor Bisonov. Nope, that's not gonna fly. Next round in 3 minutes. So Dinekis beat Excel Poker, beat Shockey, and then drew with Miro to achieve what would be like basically a 2,500 performance. And Morales is still here, Miro's still here, and Husky's now among the leaders. Damn it. Alright, I'm not destined to drink. I'm not destined to drink. Yep. Next round in 2 minutes. Why does my... I want to know, I want to know seriously, I asked this question 2 weeks ago. Can you get arthritis in just one joint? Is that a thing? Arthritis is like a general, like... Why does my thumb hurt constantly when I haven't injured it? I want to know. Yes, that's a thing? Okay. That must be what it is. An isolated arthritis. Just my left thumb. Yeah, but I never broke my thumb. I never really injured this thumb. That's what I don't get about it. To my knowledge. You know, Arsenal fan, does your face hurt? Alright. That's why Arsenal stopped streaming. Everyone asked him if his face hurt. I wouldn't know. I can never feel any pain. Dude, I wish I could drink all the time. I have to behave myself. There's something wrong with this. Ah, there it goes. Alright. Bottle of wine. Another bottle of wine. There was a time when I used to really go off, but I'm pretty well behaved these days. In my old age. In the youth, I was pretty out of control. my previous life when I was auditioning for Jerry Springer. No, I mean, these days I'm probably drinking less and less. The older I get, the less I'm drinking. It's like a parabolic curve. The older you get, the less you drink. I was a late starter. I didn't start till 17. You know, most teenagers start at like 15. Oh, I was talking about chess. No, just kidding. Danekis has to go. He has to go. The English opening, not my favorite. I'm going to play knight f3. He likes King's Indian, right? Traditionally. It's always King's Indian, King's Indian, King's Indian. What if I play the King's Indian against him? You were talking earlier about it. Symmetrical King's Indian. That's perfect. This is for your Petrosian collection. Yeah, I was pissed off last time. With Danekis bullet rating, it's embarrassing. You know, that's just not cool. Having the embarrassing bullet rating that shames the streamer and all the other people he's crushed in this tournament. He's just lucky. Once I suspected him, but he was very defensive and seemed like he was sincere. He's not using assistance. But I do think something's funny about his ratings. He would manipulate them like the troll on a roll. He would manipulate his ratings on purpose, so he'd have like 1884, 1884, 1884, and stuff like that. He definitely plays some kind of weird games with the ratings and stuff. I mean, look at his bullet rating, it's absurd. Even his chess 960 rating. Seriously? Yeah, I guess it's a little low, but not really. No, I guess it's chess 960. Yeah, so, I mean, you know, his ratings are actually normal except for the bullet. Bullet is like a joke. I don't know what... That's like his toddler child or something. Who is the great manipulator? You just did that. I'm not going to slow roll him. That's not nice, but... See, he just like hung his d6 pawn. You said he plays great from lost positions. Do you want to automatically take that bishop on c8 and further Black's development? Gain a bishop but lose a friend. It really is an interesting question. Should we automatically take that bishop? Not automatically. Not without thinking. Sorry to call you arse. Yeah, man, I mean, you might view, like, Petrosian's games as boring. But I did a course once for a chess lecture, not a course, but... I did a lecture series on King's Indian attack positions, and the two players that I found the most instructive are Fischer and Petrosian. Petrosian, you have to appreciate that he played both sides of the King's Indian. And for all the crap that he gets for being kind of a solid, somewhat drawish player, well, I mean, you don't really play the King's Indian if you're like a boring player, you know? I think the problem was like he just was like too nice of a guy or something. Goofeld was a con artist. I have a plus score against Goofeld. He was a character. Lucky though, I played him twice with black and I have a plus score. 1 draw and 1 win. I gotta find my win against Goofeld. It's lost. And this guy wanted me to it was probably one of Goofeld's later games in the last couple of years of his life, but I'm not sure which year he died. He was totally like there. I mean, I don't know how he died. Probably had a heart attack or something. But I mean, mentally, he was completely there. He was probably like 70, maybe late 60s. I don't know, but it wasn't like, well, he was a character. Con artist, not real con artist, literally, but a con artist kind of personality. You know, he was like a KGB chaperone, and then he like later immigrated to the United States. I mean, who does that, you know? What kind of person goes from being a KGB like chaperone to immigrating to the United States? Like, how weird is that? You got to be a con artist to just totally like completely change sides. He would be like a double agent or something, you know? Whatever's good for him. Seemed like a colorful person, but I don't think like you can really put Goofeld in the same. There was a funny story about Goofeld. I guess it was Bronstein. Korchnoi didn't like him, and I think. And when Goofeld became a GM, he went to Korchnoi and he was like, "Oh, I'm your colleague now." And Korchnoi was just totally like dissed him. He was like, "You're not my colleague." He didn't consider Goofeld to be in the same level. He was unstable, but he was a massive player, bro. I mean, if he says Goofeld's not in his league, that he's not in his league, you know? I mean, you gotta give him credit. He was an asshole, you know, but Goofeld was like barely Grandmaster strength and like claiming he's Korchnoi's colleague. It was like extremely arrogant and presumptive. Plus, there was probably some tension because Goofeld wanted to please the communist authorities, and Korchnoi obviously became a dissident. But I don't know exactly what year this happened. I mean, whenever Goofeld became a grandmaster, it had to be like pretty long ago. Pretty long ago, safe to say. Why is my knight on e3 again? Can anybody explain to me why I took my knight off of... Can you remind me why I took my knight off of c4? I'm kind of losing it on that. I was trying to play this. I think I lost my focus. You know what? When you make a mistake, don't be afraid to admit it. I'm going to go back to c4 and admit I made a mistake. Horrible. Horrible. Terrible. Now you make me want to move it again. Yeah, I mean, I've told the stories. How he cursed my friend, and he was up a queen for a rook, and then insulted him, racially insulted him after he blundered and lost the game. Obviously, there's no excuse for that. Fortune would totally get canceled today. He was controversial even back in the day, but obviously he was a dick. But still a tremendously talented player. Definitely, you know, super grandmaster. I'm trying not to consider F. I'm not considering F4 yet. I'm trying to win without F4. If we can win without F4, you know, why do we want to like open him up, you know? Development is good. Of course, if I go here, I'm like setting myself up for future problems. I have a winning position, so there's no need to really do anything. If you play F4, you're opening up a grab bag of counterplay. Probably not that, you know, not that much necessarily, but if I wasn't up pawn on the queen side, you know, it was a plan. That's one of the reasons why actually a strong pool tonight. Yeah, dude, he was still 2,600 when he was getting up there. I don't know about 80, Don't Cry Wolf. You're exaggerating again, but I remember when he played here in 2004. I had just moved to Hungary in like 2003, and he played in Paks at the. We have a nuclear plant in Paks where they have a strong team because it's sponsored by the nuclear plant. Imagine if the Simpsons had like a chess team at Springfield. So Paks has always been one of the top teams in the Hungarian league. Anyway, they would host the tournament every year, and Korchnoi played, I believe it was 2004. So I was playing like a B tournament or some kind of open, while Korchnoi was playing this elite round robin with like Berkesh and Almashi and a bunch of other strong players. But I remember he was still totally in control. Like, I think he still won the tournament, even though he was the oldest player in the tournament. Or he tied for first, or was up there. And that's when he was like already over 70. But didn't he claim that he like relearned chess at one point? I felt like I've seen this. I don't really know. I feel like I've seen it written somewhere that Korchnoi claimed that he at some point like decided to relearn the game, which I've never seen really any other top player claim that. Oh, Richie, what happened? Silicone boobs. Oh my god. Silicone boobs, we missed you. But I have a question. No, he died at 85. Damn. Really? Well, that's what happened to those last 20 years of mine. What's the difference between silicon and silicone? Silicon is like an element, right? And silicone is what they put in the boobs. Wait, silicon? Is that a compound or an element? Silicon, it's an element, right? silicon-based life form. Like the magma creatures in Star Trek. Season 1. Mr. Coffee. The Autons. Are they called Autons? Are you sure that's the right episode? The magma monsters in the mine? We're talking about different episodes. The Autons are the big brain people. Oh, that's a Doctor Who reference? Yeah, I never really followed Doctor Who closely. It's a British thing. Doctor Who is really feels very British to me. I could never really dig it, you know? It was on TV when I was a kid, but I just don't think Americans really felt close to Doctor Who. I can't speak for everyone, you know, and it was definitely on. I definitely watched a handful of episodes of Doctor Who, and I guess hardcore sci-fi fans liked it, and I didn't like hate it or anything, but it just felt weird. Somehow it was like too British. Thinking of something else. Boobs are made out of silicone. Well, microchips are made out of silicon. But you can also have saline boobs, right? I guess they have a different feel. There's like the episode in South Park where Cartman gets like implants. I'm not really an expert on breast implants, not really an authority, unfortunately. Actually, there's a store a couple streets from here, a business that makes silicone appendages. Yeah, I guess for people who like lose their fingers and arms and legs. Damn, Arsenal fan. And you're ashamed. You're constantly saying you're ashamed, but I can't imagine why. Being an upstanding character, what would you possibly have to be ashamed of? An upstanding character of your type. How many pawns up am I here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 pawns up. Oh, they're teasing. Now we're teasing. We're teasing Arsenal about Arsenal. Yeah, well, you put your yeah, that's a super pawn. Now that's a pawn. I'm sorry. When I talk about it, that is a pawn and a half on e4. That's my dream pawn, basically. What a dream pawn. Actually tempted to take with the rook now. He does have a threat of nothing. It is uncanny, I will say. Someone mentioned Dinekis like defense or something. Something a little uncanny about his defense, I suppose. I guess what it is a lot of people like play too fast and don't know opening theory that well, so they're constantly getting bad positions. That reminds me of soft pawn. Someone mentioned Bill Hartston, who's still kicking apparently. He does the seniors webpage for chess tournaments for seniors. And that was a great book. Catch you fellows in half hour. Are we still going to be here in half an hour? This is a long tournament. Speaking of soft pawns. Wow. The epaulette defenders. Like, it's completely okay. This is totally harmonious. This is totally harmonious. He's got a good bishop. His rooks are optimally placed. His pawn structure is good. Most importantly, you know, he's managed his time really well. I'm gonna check. But I think the issue, I'm gonna watch rook sacrifices. The issue is falling asleep. Dinakis tries really hard, even when he has a horrible position that most people would give up. Because no one ever won by resigning, as they say. You're potentially winning 2 pawns. 3, 4, 5, maybe. I think ultimately I'm going to win 5. Rook takes c5. Rook takes c5, rook takes c5, queen takes c5, rook c6. See, that's the kind of kinky counterplay like he wants to get going, and he's like really fixated on this. I'm not gonna bite, you know. Maybe instead of being focused on winning pawns, I should just penetrate on the 7th. At this point, I'm up material already. You gotta keep watching that rook sack. I think we'll go down the d file and just take it. Take him down. Uh-oh. Now that's serious. Still the rook sack is live. Of course, king g6. Obviously. I can trade queens now. That's gotta be disappointing. You are somewhat limited in your response. Still not winning any material here. Oh, right. I take it back. I am winning material. Contraire, au contraire. It's much less risky to take the pawn now because there's no queens on the board. So Jim was essentially right. Essentially right. But this was fun, right, guys? Now we're having fun. Black's definitely having fun now. Just on principle, I'm going to put my king on light squares. Where should I go? It's like a defendo bot or something. Really weird. I am defendo bot. I will defend until programmed to stop. Defendo bot. Defendo bot. Down 2 pawns. Will not resign. Defendo bot. Defendo bot. Resign. Don't have reference. Word not in dictionary. I'm doing like a Star Trek reference today. I'm doing a lot of Star Trek references. That was a reference to the other, I think, first season episode. What was it called? Mr. Coffee would know. The name of the robot. Alright. See, that's all you have to do to beat the Nexus. It's easy. You're careful, you respect him, you play well, and then you just exploit his mistakes. Morales is still playing. Well, how did Akshak get into first place? Second place, rather. Ooh. Husky held to a draw by Miro. Nice job, Miro. Wow. It's good to know it's not just me that, like, you know, Miro's been terrorizing. Nice to see you terrorize someone else. Miro, good job. Alright, Morales. Terrorize someone else for a change. Morales is in good form. He drew me. He's playing solid chess throughout. Wow, he's got a huge time edge on XL Poker. But this position looks a little weird. What was this? I can't guess the opening. Oh, it was the Caro line we mentioned. Oh, right. That was kind of lucky. That gave you a little confidence boost. What opening could this be? Bishop on a6. XL Poker. Caro Khan? Well, what Caro Khan could look like this? Where's XL Poker's time? I think he's like timed out. Maybe I lost my internet connection. XL Poker had like, he must have got swatted or something. There's like the police are at the door. Man, there was a funny move there. Oh my god, there's a really crazy move here. Defendo bot. It's a funny position, actually. Wow. I mean, I don't want to give away too much, but there's the possibility of Queen H6. XL Poker has Rook E5. And then if Bishop takes, Pawn takes, both the Queen and the Knight are hanging simultaneously. I don't think that, like, you know, Morales should overthink this, but it's tricky. You got to be careful. He has a worse structure with that isolated pawn on E4. I mean, obviously White has kind of gone all in on the attack, has a huge time advantage. Yeah, but that was an easy one. Jim, you know my last opponent in the Hungarian Team Championship was 7 CPL in an over-the-board game. The brother of the cheater. 14's nothing, you know. I have over-the-board players who do 7. Queen h6, rook e5. Knight takes g6 check. Pawn takes. Pawn cakes. Poor Morales. It's just funny that I played 8 rounds in the Hungarian Team Championship, 7 against Grandmasters. I never got crushed once. The 4 games I lost were like endings or kind of like back and forth, really close struggles. And then I get crushed by the one FIDE master I played. He played Queen h6 and XL Poker played the shocking rook e5. We're all surprised to see that here. Okay. I wonder how much Morales really thought this through when he played Queen h6. That bishop on a6 is illin. He's like down a bishop, basically ghost bishop. What Morales needs to do is not panic and be practical. Bishop e5, pawn e5. I mean, I guess you could do like knight takes g6 check, but you don't want to do that. Blah 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 blah. XL Poker is good at playing with increment. Morales not so much. So Morales really needs to not let his clock go down to under, you know, like under a minute. This is like totally freaked out. It's psychological, you know. Morales puts too much pressure on himself. I like queen takes better here. But I guess there's a case to be made. I mean, this protects e4. I'm not sure. But there's no way in hell you should do what you did there. Like, you don't have to give up the 2 pieces with the rook here. Just retreat your queen and admit you made a mistake. I mean, can he really take his pawn on e4? Even if he can, I mean, it's not a big deal. Whoa, what did I just do? Whoops. I mean, it is interesting. Like XL Poker's bishops, well, the bishop on a6 in particular, is so bad that he's having trouble making it count. It's pretty funny. This is not a great structure for those bishops. c4 is kind of a killer. But objectively, that bishop's going to wheedle its way into the game. The Steam Wheedle Cartel. Nice move, queen e2. Huh? Wheedle, wheedle. Wheedling my way. Draw back. I don't know. I just think of the Steam Wheedle Cartel from the, like, what's that? Warcraft. Artificial wheedling. No, weeding is not enough. Wheedling. Aren't you supposed to be working move 11? You never play in these tournaments. It's very disappointing. Sllllooowwww's like the master of excuses for not playing. Yeah, that's nasty. Well, the bishop on g7 is not so great. Time to sack the exchange. But now we're down a bishop. Other than that, everything's fine. A Weedle is a Pokemon. Actually, that should be Arsenal. Oh, Arsenal fan left for a while. Arsenal is the Pokemon expert. A resident Pokemon expert. I can't watch this anymore, man. I mean, poor Morales with the psychological meltdown. See, that's the advantage that XL Poker has from all of his like online poker. XL Poker is better at handling like competitive tension than most people. I think that's where you see his poker skills pay off in terms of competitive tension and time pressure. So this was interesting. It was a Vienna. Very interesting. Knight A5 variation. That's what I should have played, probably. I was just thinking about this the other day. Yeah, it's just so hard to decide, like, what should black play there? You know, I mean, Knight A5 is the number one move, but I was thinking about this the other day. It feels so extreme. See, it's not, like, the engine isn't sure it's even the best move. Definitely open for debate. I would prefer not to put the knight on c6 in the first place, but I played c6 like a moron. We had this game against Morales an hour ago, where I did this awful move c6. Bishop c5 is the best move, but I already played it against Morales like last week. You know, the only reason why I didn't play it because he probably prepped for this, even though that's black's best move. The reason why I played c6 against him was because I had the sudden realization that Morales actually, like, prepares for you, you know, if he knows you're going to play, so that's why I played the crappy line. Very good game by XL Poker, it looks like, and one blunder from Morales. Actually, good game by both of them. Shame that Morales went under. No, you had a good position early. I thought he had something here. Wow. You know, but that was funny. The position we got, I misevaluated this. You know, I really thought that Morales was fine here. With that bishop misplaced on c4 on a6, I thought that black wasn't even better, and I was wrong. The structural disadvantage is too much. You know, it's not obvious. It looks like white almost might have a tactic. I mean, you got to give him credit for queen h6, but after rook e5, you just have to retreat. I guess you're just losing your e4 pawn. And so, you know, I just played that against you the other day, didn't I? Like last week, didn't I just play bishop c5? I would assume anything I just played against you, you'd be most likely to look it up. Just in time. A check. Okay, last round. Must play for a win. We can't play e5 in the last round. No, I mean, rook e5 was pretty obvious, bro. I guess you had the stream turned off, Antonio. But, he doesn't have a lot of options. That move is pretty much one of them. Alright, what am I doing now? Oh, yeah. What opening is this? Oh, it's a con Sicilian now? Sort of, but not really. Or definitely. Or the Marazzi, or a bad Marazzi. Okay, I'm not going to play a bad Marazzi. Wow. So Akshak, really? Against Queen C7? You just play D4 right away, no problem? Yeah, that's a good line. I don't know this variation for black. Jesus Christ, dude. Where is all this theory coming from? He's like a theoretical expert with the A3. That's good, because I don't play this line with black. Why is White playing so fast? Another interesting question. Okay, I don't know anything about this player. I have a good score against them. But they played the opening like frighteningly quick here. And I don't honestly know the con very well. To be perfectly frank, I did consider playing it at one point, and studied it a little bit. But I never really got very deeply into it. Marazzi bind typical moves, can play them fastish. Dude, it is a specific Sicilian. I see. It's a specific Sicilian. It's a con. You can't lump the Marazzi into every Marazzi into the same. You can say what you want to say, dude. It's a Marazzi, that's a structure. This is specifically a con. It's both. It's both a Marazzi and a con. I just feel like, you know, the Marazzi is... It's not an opening, it's a structure, you know? I mean, that's it, you know? But I don't really care about arguing about it. It's not a bug. It's a feature. Okay. So, what do we do here? Why is he playing so fast like it's bullet? 1885. Disturbing how fast White is playing here. Sllllooowwwwww. I used to smoke Sllllooowwwww. Dude, do you have the opening explorer turned on or what there? You played the whole game in 13 seconds. But you're probably like 1,400 feet, eh? Yeah. See, this is like, dude, are you serious? Please turn off your opening explorer. Okay? It's not fair to use the opening explorer. You really ought to, like, play the moves on your own. You can play an IM and you're playing, like, perfect moves without even thinking about them. Dude, how weird is that, you know? He's got to have in his profile. Didn't I tell you not to do that? Not to have like your rated 600 in your profile? By the way, what's the result? 14 years, rating 600. You know, that's really annoying, dude. Might have to ban you from the stream for that. What's his performance in this tournament like? Yeah, I'm gonna leave the game. What's his tournament performance? He beat 2000, lost Morales, got a forfeit, and then beat Shlagi in a messy game. Wow, he was all over him though. How much time did he use by the end? I guess we don't know. Alright, anyway. Wow, is it legal to like analyze your opponent's games? Well, I'm not using the engine. I don't know. Kind of a gray area there, like, by the way. Ooh, it started to rain finally. Why is he thinking? Did I leave the opening book or something? Strange that you would be thinking here as a 600 player. Maybe 3 is probably book. Yeah, this is a Marazzi, a Con Sicilian, and a Hedgehog. It has 3 identities. Guys, please be the first to gift a sub this week. And cheer to be number 1. If I play another opponent who says their rating is 600, I'm going to ban them from the stream. Even the Knight B3 idea. Dude, of course. That's an advanced idea that's only been discovered in like the last 20 years. I mean, it's extremely modern. This idea of Knight B3. Normally, white wouldn't play this way in the past, in the old days, because they were afraid the pawn here would get weak on c4. So if you look at games from 20, 30, 40 years ago, practically nobody played the white side of these Con Marazzi type structures with this type of maneuver. I mean, he played a3 like instantaneously. I really, I don't know. Honestly, if you're that good that you know the opening that deeply, you'd probably be like 2,500. I'm just paranoid of everybody cheating. He doesn't have a score against me that's very imposing. I mean, he's only got 1 out of 7, so it doesn't seem like a player who's cheating. Therefore, he plays too fast. He's overconfident. Instead of, cheating, he's actually just being like a typical teenager. Being a typical teenager is a dangerous thing. Yeah, Knight A4 looks very sophisticated. To be honest, he's playing like scary kind of perfect here. Dude, afraid of a possible bishop b4 for me. Dude, a3 is the main move. Of course. This is considered by this is a major move. I mean, c4 wasn't considered really a dangerous variation against the Con until maybe like 2000 or something. This is like the critical line. You play in a3 instantly. No, I don't know. This now I'm definitely beyond my knowledge base now. What's up with b5? Finally started raining here. If my bishop was on d8, I would hang my pawn on d6, so that wasn't an option. I have b5. Freaking rain. I don't know, man, how much it rains here. It rained like 90% of the days in April. Now it's raining again. So what am I supposed to do? Play b5 and let my whole queenside just get wrecked? Recollected. This is a wonderful move to play, isn't it? No, I mean, White's play is like too sophisticated, too perfect for the rating, for the score against me, for the last round of a casual tournament. I don't know. I think a lot of people manipulate. I'm tired of like people claiming they're 600 rated. It's really irritating. You got to take that out of your profile if you're going to play in this tournament. It's just it's annoying. It's like disrespectful, basically. Like you're trolling people. XL Poker just gifted a tier 1 sub to the community. They've gifted a total of 9 in the channel. Thanks, XL Poker. My plan wasn't necessarily to like double on the C file here. I just wanted to protect my pawn. I asked for it. I got it. Yeah, it's been a slow month. Thanks, man. You know, I like the lines where my bishop goes to c7 and I can attack over there. This queen on d4 is pretty much pissing me off. Do I have a d5 break? Speaking of the d5 break, cd, my a6 will hang in some lines. Take, 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 take. Maybe a6 doesn't matter. I mean, it matters. Pawn lives matter. But, it doesn't matter as much as the center. I have a book by my Hungarian friends, Laszlo and Oliver Mihawk, and they have this pawn dynamics book, which has a lot of puzzles and positions categorized. And interestingly, like, they chose one of the categories based on Hedgehog. Hedgehog is like the ultimate opening for pawn dynamics. You're always looking for either b5 or d5 for black. And to be honest, like, if I ask you guys to answer a question, is it harder to play white or black? You know, usually it's harder to play black because you have less space. But in a hedgehog, my experience has been that it's the opposite. It's actually harder to play white. It's harder to play white. The onus is on white to do something. Black just sits there like a porcupine, and, you know, if you try to hurt me, I'm going to prick you with my little, you know, whatever they are. What are they called? Quills? It's totally harder to play white. I find the A5, A4 lines in modern Razzi. Again, when you say modern Razzi, what do you speak of? What do you mean modern Razzi? You mean the accelerated dragon? But I mean, normally white isn't having to do A4. I played that way against someone on Sound. and I got a bad game every time. But I definitely like to categorize positions based on variation of the Sicilian, not in terms of Marazzi. They're different Marazzis. I mean, the E6 type of structures are different from the G6. Here I'm playing E6. Accelerated Dragon is very different. I play both. I have a great score with the Hedgehog with black. I've almost never lost. Actually, I can't remember losing a Hedgehog. I mean, I must have lost to somebody. I drew Pigasov. I drew with Udazin. I'm just trying to think of like the strong grandmasters that I played the Hedgehog against. Jesse Cry. Okay, he's not like a super strong player, but he couldn't beat me. There was a period I went through where I played the Hedgehog. I remember losing. I lost once to my friend Rodion Rubinchik, who's only a FIDE master. Once he beat me. So I've lost that. That's the only game I remember losing, though. I lost pretty badly against Rodion. Udasin. He was a great player. He's a nice guy. He's funny. He's a great personality. Very, sympathetic and friendly. What a nice person. I always tell the story how Leonid and I played in the last round of the World Open where we could have tied for first. And it was a draw after a really hard fight where I was black, and this was not the Hedgehog game, this was another game. And like most grandmasters would be all pissed. Like once I had the same situation with Kashishvili, and he just like was like angry and like left, didn't want to talk about it. But with Udasin, he was like, just loves chess, you know. It's amazing. He just loves chess so much that he didn't care that he drew with a low-rated player when he was on the verge of tying for first in the World Open. He asked me if I want to go analyze the game with him, you know. I mean, I think that's pretty fucking cool, you know. When the guy who is actually a candidate for the World Championship isn't arrogant and he asks you if you want to go analyze the game after, you know, missing out on winning like $5,000 or something. It's not, you know, he's obviously like a hard fighter, but at the same time he's not like results oriented. I think it's amazing, you know. Very few grandmasters would do that. Even against another grandmaster, forget about the fact that I'm like a lower rated IM. Most people would just be pissed they didn't win the $5,000 and just want to like, you know, beat their wife or something. But he's like, oh, let's go. We go analyze. It's crazy. Crazy in a way, you know. Udasin is funny. No, he kind of like, I don't know him that well. I had a friend who grew up with him in St. Petersburg, went to the same, you know, Pioneers Palace, and they even shared their notebooks and stuff. But Udasin's a little on the crazy side. He's Orthodox Jew by like family, but at one point he like decided to become a Buddhist, apparently. And then he like retreated back into, and he became like an Orthodox Jew. It's weird, you know, go from Buddhism to Orthodox Judaism. Totally standard. He's a unique person. I remember Emery Tate was most proud of his win against Yudasin. Of all the games, he beat a lot of good players. Tate was unstable, but he did have some nice wins, and he was most proud of his game against Yudasin. I think the results oriented stuff is talked about a lot in like poker books too. You're always thinking like, oh, tilting. Akshat got absolutely destroyed here after playing the opening perfectly. Tate would sometimes go gamble, I'm sure. I don't know. Tate rarely had a lot of money though, so I don't. I mean, he would like sleep on my hotel room floor on occasion, and I was like a student even back then, or I didn't have a lot of money. So a guy who's like sleeping on people's floors doesn't normally gamble much, but I suppose. Although I don't know that Tate was. Well, he just didn't have a lot of money normally, so. Unlike his offspring, it's interesting, Tate wasn't really like a money obsessed person. But I know nothing about his. Now we're shifting to the Emery Tate stories. I know nothing about the woman who he had the kids with in England. I was surprised as anybody, like when Tate told me he had a girlfriend in the UK and he had kids with her. I was like, what? I had no idea. I mean, he must have never seen them. He almost never went to the UK, so I have no idea what the story was. I don't know if she lived in the US and then moved there or something. I don't know if the woman is even like British or American or what. I don't know anything about it. I just remember meeting Tate one of the last times. One of the last-ish times. And I don't even remember when it was now, but he was here. And I was just kind of surprised. I was like, really? You have kids in England? Oh. Because he said he had like been there and then come to play in Budapest. And I was like, whoa, that's weird. Okay. He must have been stationed in the army in the UK or something. The only thing that I can piece together that would make sense. The only thing that makes sense for me would be that he was stationed in the UK at some point, had some kids while he was like in the U.S. Air Force or whatever, and then my dad was in the army and had a girlfriend or girlfriends in the UK when he was stationed in England. So I guess it's a pretty common occurrence, but that's a like different generation, but still. Those British girls, right, Arsenal? Have you been living under the rock lately? You had no idea that Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate? Oh my god. You gotta be kidding me. Arsenal fan. You had no idea. Holy shit. That's crazy, bro. That's why Andrew Tate has that knight insignia on his house in Romania or whatever. They have the knight. The knight, I don't even know how good they are at chess, but they've got the knight there, like, as a representation of Emery's, like, being a chess player and shit. That's funny, though. We've talked about it quite a bit on the stream. I thought you would, of all people, know, since you live in the UK. I don't remember the Yudasin game. I remember him showing that to me when it happened in Chicago. But I don't remember now, Move 11 never heard of Andrew Tate. Move 11, you're trolling us now. I'm sure that Move 11 Move 11 has a strange sense of. He has a strange sense of humor. Alright, I'm getting confused by this position. This is just weird. Can I get a connect 4? Second question. Are all of my pieces protected? Have you seen your children lately? Nah, he was a really interesting person, man. I thought he was gonna, like... Can't. I just can't go there. Yeah, he's an interesting person. Especially when you're stoned and you're afraid he's, like, gonna rape you. I don't know what gave me that impression, though, you know. I don't know what would have given me that impression. It's been a long time ago. But nothing happened. Like, he didn't assault me, but I had this overwhelming feeling he was going to. And I got out of there. It was a funny story, but I can't really tell it properly on the stream. Never really shared that with the audience. Is anything hanging? Well, it was definitely because we were smoking weed. And we were. But it was a really funny story where I was convinced he was gonna, like, rape me. And then it's a really funny story because it's a very famous hotel that's being torn down in Manhattan now. And my friends, just the moment that I thought I was going to be assaulted, my friends were, like, appeared across the courtyard of the hotel in an adjacent window, like 50 meters away. And I was like, yo, guys, what's up? You know, and they saved me from Emery. It was really weird, man. Kind of, like, surreal. Maybe it was the weed, I don't know. I'm losing my pawn on b6. Did I say 50 meters? Well, I lived in Europe for 19 years, so... Yeah, honestly, after living in Hungary since 2004, I literally... I do think in meters. I mean, I hang out with people who are, like, Hungarians, so if I'm telling a story, like, I can't very well tell them in feet, you know. Most of the people that I engage with, yeah, I'm doing meters. Dude, I never really went into the story before on my stream. It's too personal. You know, I hate, like, accusing, like, Amory of wanting to, like, sexually molest me, because it wasn't like it really quite happened. I just had the feeling he was going to. There was, you know, he was, like, touching my shoulder and acting kind of weird. He was just getting real touchy and weird, you know. I couldn't, like, testify in court he intended to sexually attack me for sure, but you got that feeling. I was definitely well, I didn't hallucinate that he was, like, touching my shoulder and stuff. He was definitely not clearly heterosexual. Let's put it that way. man, black is black is better if I don't hang mate in one, and it's not. This is not the weirdest story involving him, by the way. You know, this was having trouble though. I mean, shit is so far in the past. I don't know what happened first. There were other weirder things that happened, I guess, first. Can't remember with like the order of shit. Well, hopefully I never have to like testify in court about it because I can't remember. Damn, dude, Akshak with the crazy defense, dude. This is almost insane. Do I have something like bishop takes? Finally? Very, very calculation based play by white, no? Honestly, if you think about my opponent here, we're getting away from all the Emery Tate stuff. Just, you know, it's kind of striking how much calculation based his game is. Well, I mean, I have a friend who was there, and he has a better memory than me, you know, so he would probably remember details that I forgot. We could bring in, like, corroborating witnesses. I mean, I'm not alone in this, but I never wanted to, like, badmouth Emery. I never really had anything against him. He just, like, made me very, very nervous that time. I can't believe Arsenal didn't know. That's the weirdest thing ever. Damn, dude, I mean, how much of your game is, like, pure calculation based? It's crazy. It's totally insane. Akshak is, like, 100% pure calculation. No positional play, no strategy. Just all you do is calculate, calculate, calculate. It's unbelievable. He wasn't always problematic, I guess, just when he was, like, drunk or high, you know. I had really no problem with him. I liked him, you know, in general, but the problems started when he was, you know, when he was doing drugs or alcohol. And I guess that's the case with a lot of people, most people. Otherwise, I had no issue with him. And there were other instances with other people that were worse, and it was also brought on by drinking, for example. This guy's crazy with the increment and the calculation. Are you serious? It's just insane. I might eventually drop something. He's been living on his increments for like 60 moves now. Living on the edge. Aerosmith with the farewell tour coming up. Just announced today. I hope Steven Tyler's not getting sued by anyone from the 80s or whatever. Okay. Fatal mistake for White. White has not made a lot of fatal mistakes lately. The defense of White is unbelievable. Like most people, and most people like give up at some point. Like you're down a clear exchange. It's weird, man. White's play in this game is borderline weird. Getting weird. It's getting weirder and weirder around here, isn't it? I'm up in exchange. Doesn't matter. Nobody cares. How is his king safe here? It's kind of incredible. I mean, you could play like this with your increments. Do you think this is repunch? Like he has another account or something? King c3? I'm really... You think it's too sharp? There's something going on with this player. Honestly. It's really unnatural. Finally, there appears to be a blunder. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you could play chess like that, honestly. You'd be like every second calculating. It would be like incredibly hard work to play chess like White just tried. It wouldn't be worth the effort, you know. But he's like, it's incredible, you know, how well he did it. You know, down to 6 seconds, 6 seconds, 6 seconds, 6 seconds, 6 seconds. It's extremely stressful to have to play chess like that. I could easily... I was getting tired out, honestly. I was on the verge of blundering. Like, just out of pure, like, running out of stamina. XL Poker wins. Obese Reese finished third? What? How did he get in there? Obese Reese with the first tournament, third place. Whoa. I managed to hang in there. Emery Tate stories and all. 25-23 performance. XL Poker second. What happened to Husky? He didn't play? Husky just left before the last round. Did he mention he was leaving? Honorable mention to Arsenal. Honorable mention to Morales, who drew me and put up a fight every game. Honorable mention to Hey It's Miro. Let's see what happened there. Oh my god. That's a serious iceberg you got there. Can I copy and paste that iceberg? I can cast. What does that mean, cast? Search images with Google. Translate to English. I like the options. What I can do with this graph. Alright. Wow, Obese Reese, 22-19 performance, third place. Yeah, what happened with that iceberg, bro? That's some nasty iceberg. You were better. Oh, he got like a bad ready. Ooh, yeah, that's why I don't play the ready. Damn. XL Poker got outplayed in the opening. Yeah, it's hopeless, bro. You might as well play the Catalan. Honestly, XL Poker, you'd be better off playing the Catalan. This shit just sucks, you know? Playing the ready. You ended up getting like a bad Benoni. But the move order was kind of weird. I mean, 93 is a weird move. You can transpose to a Tarash, semi-Tarash, or Catalan here. This is a totally random move, A6. A random move. So he basically just transposed to a sort of ready. Yeah, I mean, you're not supposed to play D3, man. Definitely. Definitely. Knight E3 is not that crazy, but you should probably try to play, you know, E3, Queen E2. You're basically playing like you're black in a queen pawn game. Like I would play like you're playing with white, with black, when people refuse to go into like the Blumenfeld or whatever. Knight E3 is not that bad, you know. No, and you do. Maybe you do have to do like knight b1 at some point later. Maybe, sure, but knight e3 is not that. It's not that stupid. But d3 was like kind of passive, and you just wandered into like a bad Benoni. And this is really what we don't want. This is horrible. I mean, all you've got is e3, and basically it's like, hey, Esmiro has a model Benoni, and you fianchettoed your bishop on b2. You know, I'm surprised the white's not more than like minus 0.2. Yeah, so instead of this, I mean e3, unless there's a problem with the d3 square, but everything's covered here. The knight actually protects c4, so like this is not an option. So you know, an a6 may not help black that much here in this type of position. Maybe you can try like b5. What happened later? Queen b1 is pretty funky. Yeah, this is a really good position for black. No, this is a good decision. Hey, Esmiro played f5. That's a very, very committal and controversial decision. When you play f5, I mean, you know, you're potentially like liberating his queen on b1 and the bishop on g2. Arsenal was talking about me playing f4 in the King's Indian the other game. It's the same thing. I mean, this is good for you, but it's good for him too. Do you really want to do that? No, I don't know. Wonder what the computer would play here. See, I was thinking about g5. Did you have to do a4? Not necessarily. But it might have been a good decision. If he doesn't a4, black, yeah, black might have it. Well, no, it's a tough decision. Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, that's what happened in one of my games in the World Senior. I was threatening... I mean, my opponent was threatening to undermine my structure. No, I think he has to do it, dude. He has to do it. I mean, white's position is bad, but yeah, this is necessary, and you could even go in here and try to block it up. Or like you did. Yeah, white's on defense, you know. But I don't know that Hey Esmiro should play f5. I mean, it's a risky way to play the game. You got the e4 square. So it's all, you know, anything's possible here. I mean, now it's anybody's game. With the rook in the game. The A rook. Yeah, he got taken apart. I don't know, Hey Esmiro got really low on time. I don't know where the hell he spent all his time. Were you like cleaning the bathtub or something? Jesus Christ, where did your time go? Did you berserk or something? Hey Esmiro, berserk, dude, it's not even an arena tournament, he berserked. That's unbelievable. I didn't know it was possible to do that. Alright, anyway, thanks everybody for playing. I did win this tournament. I think it's fun. We can play longer games, and I wouldn't do this every week. But I think the games are a time control that can be really constructive, like training games, whereas normal 7+5 or blitz is too fast to be really constructive. So we had some interesting games today. Thanks, guys. We'll be back tomorrow with Weird Wednesday. And I've got another request to join the team. From Morocco. Alright. That's cool. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the hate mail. No, Morales submitting game for Thursday. Alright, don't forget, guys. Support the stream, donate, subscribe. Hey, Esmiro, where did your time go? You know, you're fast, usually. How did you have, like, 7 minutes versus 15 or whatever. That was weird. Very unusual. The normally quick. Hey, it's Miro playing with time odds against a strong player. Anyway, congratulations, everybody. Thanks for playing. We'll see you later. Mr. Coffee, thanks for being our moderator. And it was fun telling my Emery Tate and other stories for today. I'll see y'all. See y'all later. Thanks, Mr. Coffee. Thanks, everybody. Good tournament. Bye-bye.